That happened this morning at the airport. I don't really want to explain my an airport story because I don't think it's that interesting.
Yeah.
But one thing did happen while I was talking to a help person, assistant sort of person with my COVID test, and she's like walking me through it. There's another American guy who's like waiting to basically do the same thing as me. And I'm like complaining to him because I got fucked over on some COVID test stuff while I was in the UK. And he's
crazy
like,
to be complaining to a stranger.
He's like pissed. He's like, yeah, they're good at taking.
Aiden leaned over and went, Mondays.
He spoke to me first, to be fair.
He's like, hey, my brother used to play Fortnite professionally.
He just leans over and goes, yeah, so his tag was Addity.
And now he's actually immortal in Valorant. The guy was like, what? He was he's like basically complaining that like, yeah, they also like took his money for the test, but he never got anything back either. And then he's like, unironically, he's like, this is why socialism doesn't work. It's not about tests. It's not about safety. It's about control. And I'm just like, yeah. Well, I was like, I do the light counter argument. I'm like, well, I was just in Sweden and Italy, and it was like fine there. Like, I think it's just the UK is kind of bad. Like, but he was doing the exact same thing. It's like the guy at the football game with you, right?
Did he have a British accent?
No, he was American.
Oh, he's American. Yeah.
So I think it's just like there's always those little situations where somebody like finally tosses out the line and they just want you to hop on board, but you don't want to like get in a fight with them and you just want to exit the conversation.
Dude, I got trapped in on the plane to Indiana when I went to Full Bloom. The last Full Bloom that was, I went like, I took a flight alone, and I was with this guy. I sat down and he starts talking to me immediately, and I'm like, God damn it, fuck, shit, God damn it.
That's Aiden's dream.
And he's like, right? And he's like this older guy, and he's like, because he's like, hey, please turn off your device, put it in airplane mode. He's like, you don't really have to do that. I was in the Navy. Like, I know how electronics work. And I was just like, that's crazy. And he just starts talking.
I saw the episode of Mythbusters.
He's like, yeah, I was in the Navy for years. Like, it's fine. It doesn't interfere with the plane. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. And so and then the second thing he says, he's like, yeah, but it's like a regulations thing. And I'm like, yeah, well, regulations are good. And then he's like, yeah, but people like AOC keep pushing them. It was like your guys' Uber guy, but like without the N-word. He just went from 0 to 60, and he's like, all right, let's talk about it. I literally spent the whole plane ride talking to this guy, just trying to understand him, and it was insane. He just kept like arguing me. He's like, you know who was a fascist? And I'm like, no. He's like, Mussolini. And I'm like, all right. He's like, you know what else he was? A socialist. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I don't know, dude. It was crazy.
Ain't that one of the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, with the staff. And then, but it was so funny because I just kept like probing him and kind of like trolling him. And but I got him to admit, I was like, here's the thing. I just think that if you get sick, you should be able to go to the hospital and not be in debt for thousands of dollars. And he's like, yeah, but the system doesn't work that way. I'm like, but what if you didn't have to go in debt? And he's like, yeah, okay, that would be pretty good. And I felt so accomplished at this fucking weird guy. And then I got off the plane, and I will never see him again.
Yeah.
He's probably dead.